Hi, how many of you ladies out there like to go shopping for jewelry? Okay, that's great. Now men, do you like shopping for jewelry for them? Okay, well that's good. It's nice to see an even balance there. That makes things a little more harmonious on board here. Well, hi, my name is Stuart Gustafson. I'm America's international travel expert, and I'm here to talk to you today about Baltic amber. So, who am I? Who is Stuart Gustafson? Well, I'm an author, a speaker, someone who just loves to travel all over the world. I have the U.S. registered trademark, America's International Travel Expert. I've flown over 1 million miles on a single airline, but I still love to go on cruises. So far I've visited 32 countries. My goal is to keep adding on every year. I'm not trying to visit every country in the world. There are a few people doing that. That's not my goal. But I like to see new places just like you do. That's why one of the reasons you're on this cruise. Okay. And I'm also an author of a best-selling mystery novel that you can find available in the gift shop here. So since we're in the Baltic region, and that's where we'll be spending 90+% of our time on this cruise, I thought talking about amber and telling you a little bit more about it and giving you some information and letting you see some amber might be informative, educational, and entertaining. I hope so. Let me know. And by the way, anytime along here you have questions, raise your hand. If I don't happen to see you, shout out at me or stand up or something, get my attention, make sure that I answer your question. So what is amber? Who knows what amber is? Yeah, amber is fossilized tree resin. Not sap per se, but tree resin. Interesting thing about it is it can trap in, and many of the specimens that we see have fossilized plants, animals in there. That makes it kind of more interesting rather than just looking at a stone. Stones are beautiful, diamonds are beautiful. Yeah, I know, we're not going to be giving away any diamonds right now, but it's the extra little things that are inside the amber that really make it a little bit more interesting. And there are a lot of uses for amber. As you can see up here, you can use it in perfumes, in jewelry, and it was also used in folk medicine. It was a healing agent for folk medicine. And it's in quite a few locations around the world, but the main thing is that most of the amber has come from this region. Well, the Baltic region contains 80% of the known amber deposits. And it's been estimated that the forests here have produced over 100,000 tons of amber. So if you think about that, that's a lot of stones, it's a lot of tree resin, it's a lot of trees. And the tree is a conifer tree. It's pretty much like today's Japanese umbrella pine. So as we cruise through the Baltic, where will we find amber? Well, most of the deposits found today, 90% of them, are found in Kaliningrad, part of Russia. Now the interesting thing about Kaliningrad is that since the fall of the Soviet Union, it's cut off from the rest of Russia. It's surrounded by Lithuania, Poland, and the Baltic. So it's its own oblast is what it's called, its own federation, its own region. But that's where it's found today. So we're not going to Kaliningrad, so where could you get some amber, or where can you see some amber? We have three main places. One, our first stop in Germany. We're going to be stopping in Warnemünde. You can see some Baltic amber there, depending on what you do. You just go off the ship, you take a tour, and so forth. The Amber Room at St. Catherine's Palace, or Catherine's Palace in St. Petersburg. That is probably the most famous place. It is beautiful, it's gorgeous. I've been through there. It's just really an amazing place. And certainly gift shops on board have amber that you can add to your collection. Well, let's talk a little bit about the Amber Room. It was once dubbed the eighth wonder of the world. considered the most famous room in Catherine's Palace in St. Petersburg. And I'll show you on a diagram a little bit later how interesting that is, because it's not huge, it's a small room, but it really has so much amber in there, it's just so beautiful. It was presented as a gift to Peter the Great in 1716 by the Prussian king Frederick Wilhelm I. And the room itself is not very large, a square footage of about 600 square feet, but when you see some pictures, and if you go there yourself, you'll just see the enormity of it. It's just big and absolutely beautiful. Well, during the Second World War, the panels were taken down, and they were taken then to Königsberg. And if you remember what I said a little bit ago, Königsberg is now what's called Kaliningrad. So they were taken back to Königsberg. They were hidden, but they've never really been found. There are a lot of books, been movies, what the mysteries behind what happened to all the amber. But in the recreation of them, which was completed in 2003, they took 100,000 pieces of stone to put these together. Now they had a couple of photographs, so they could recreate this quite accurately. 6 tons of amber it took, 10 years to put this thing back together. The panels are about 20 feet high, 10 feet wide. The room itself only has a footprint of about 600 square feet, but these panels are just absolutely magnificent. The wood that's in there, the wood trimming, it's been polished to make it look like amber too. So it looks like a gold room, really, when you're in there. So here you can see a picture of Catherine's Palace, and with the arrow pointing to the area where the amber room is. Again, it's only about 600 square feet, so it's really small, but again, it is the most famous room there. You go to Catherine's Palace, you are going to want to go to the amber room. Here are some slides of the workers meticulously putting this thing back together as they're piecing piece by piece, color by color, shape by shape to put this thing together. I mean, it is hard to imagine 10 years to put together those panels, but they want it done right, and it was done right, and it's just absolutely fantastic. Remember at the beginning when I asked how many of you like jewelry, shopping for jewelry, and particularly you like amber? So that's great. I hope that what I have shared with you today has been informative and educational, maybe a little entertaining too. So thank you so much for being here. Hope to see you again, and I'll be standing around for a while. I'll stay here. I'll come down and talk with you. Any questions that you have, please feel free to ask me. Today you see me on board the ship at any time at all. I'm Stuart Gustafson, America's International Travel Expert, and if I can help you travel, I'd love to do that. Thank you very much.